Hello, Shaker Heights varsity baseball fans, and welcome to what is another lovely day here for some Shaker Heights versus another GCC opponent. We're going to have another good old Northeast Ohio high school baseball contest between your Red Raiders of Shaker Heights and the Cleveland Heights Tigers, the greatest rival to Shaker in all sports, not just this one, except for hockey, but that's a whole other thing on its own. We're going to get Colt Klein starting us off here today, and Shaker just losing their first home game of the season yesterday. They've played multiple other home games before that. I believe it was 5. But here we are today looking for that bounce back win, put them back over 500 in the GCC. Right now they're sitting at 4-4 after being swept by Medina, and it's Colt Klein getting handed the rock. He had a appearance in relief yesterday. He only pitched 6 pitches, though, for 1 inning. That was the final one in which Shaker was in it. It was the 7th inning, and unfortunately, Shaker was losing that one 6-2, and that was your final. Colt Klein looking to pick up where he left off. He's 2-0 in his only 2 starts of the season, and we'll see if he can keep this one going. It's interesting defensive lineup for you today. Out and left, we're getting Nemo Crosby. In center, we'll take it, of course. And then in right, we're having Andrew Fogarty. And then on the infield, from right to left, we're going to be seeing C.J. Landrum over at first. Quentin Garnett, the interesting move, over at second. At shortstop, Brett Moore. And over at third is going to be Will Berglund. Catching the balls and strikes today is going to be Andrew Burley. That's another interesting move. We can talk to you more about that as we go along here in the game. Thank you very much for tuning in. My name is Vaughn Ullum here with the call, and I'll be here for the call all game long for another GCC rivalry game. Thanks for tuning in. First pitch coming your way. Cole Klein, a left-handed dealer. Here's the first offering of the evening, and it's in there for strike number 1. Cole Klein, number 3 on the back of his jersey, recently announced that he will be heading to Kent State University down there in Kent. Here's the pitch. In there again. Another strike. So he's going to be joining Quentin Garnett down there in Kent, Ohio. I believe Cole Klein is going down for sports management. Here's the next pitch. This one popped up. Berglund calling off everyone else, but we'll see if he's able to make the play, and up against the fencing he is. Just barely able to keep it in play, but keep it in play he did, and that is an easy out number 1 for Cole Klein. Shaker, losers of their last 3. This one grounded immediately to Brett Moore. The throw a bit up high. C.J. Landrum deals with it. He'll make the upstairs grab for out number 2. 1 pitch and 1 out. Goes down west. And so now we're going to get the 3-hole guy in the form of Nick Square. Number 2 on the back of the jersey. Cole Klein only threw 4 pitches. If he can pitch like he did yesterday, it's going to be a very efficient outing for him. Here's the pitch. That one down low and in tight for ball 1. 2 away here in the top of the first. 0-0 your scores. We're just getting started. Cole Klein so far, that was his very first pitch off the mark for a ball, and now he's going to throw him back to back. 2-0 the count now to the batter Square. Cole Klein entering into today with only 9 hits given up. Here's that one. In there for a strike. That one might have looked once again in tight to the batter, but that one will be ruled a strike. Good call by the umpire there. Cole Klein entering into today a 1.6 ERA. That one upstairs for another ball, 3-1. But Klein really has worked his way into a starting position, and he's gotten comfortable in the 3 spot. This one lined into left center. Will Tagan going to play this one before it gets to the wall. The throw in to second. He almost had him beat. It was actually the runner needing to duck out of the way of the ball thrown by Tagan, but he'll be in safely over at second, so a 2-out double will get a man in scoring position, and it'll create an RBI opportunity for Miller, number 7, for Cleveland Heights. But yeah, what we've seen from Shaker is they've had a lot more games of late. Like this week, 5 games, 5 days. That one in title, get away from Burley, and the only runner on will advance to third. So Nick Square now deeper into scoring position. It's a great opportunity for Miller to do some damage. 1 ball, no strikes, 2 away in the top of the first inning. Cole Klein, the left-handed pitcher, with a right leg kick, and here's the pitch. This one's sent up and over the head and in front of Andrew Fogarty. It was in front of the shoulder of Quentin Garnett, and so quickly Heights is already leading in what is supposed to be another Shaker victory. Actually, Cleveland Heights yet to get a Greater Cleveland Conference victory other than Euclid. However, Euclid yet to get any. They have really struggled, but Shaker could really use this bounce back victory against a big rival like Cleveland Heights, especially seeing as though they are a very beatable team. 1-0 the count and a 1-0 score. Here's the pitch. This one's sent up high our way. Let's see who calls him off. It's going to be Will Tagan at the last second, and he will record out number 3. So 1 run does come across to score. Cleveland Heights up early on 2 hits, and the run was not earned, it says on here. Not exactly sure how that one works. However, the run does come across. 1-0's the score, and Shaker already with a little bit of catch-up to do here. We'll be right back with the call at the bottom of the first. My name is Vaughn Ullum here with the call from Shaker Heights, Ohio. And Shaker after the top of the first, already trailing, but not by much. 1-0 is the score after it was Nick Square coming across to score on a bloop single over to right field. That hit was courtesy of Miller right behind him. Brett Moore is the first guy due up here in the Red Raider batting order. Let's see what he's got cooking to try and bounce back after giving up a 1-run lead to Heights. First pitch upstairs for ball 1. Brett Moore, you either see him in the leadoff spot or you see him lower in the lineup around that 7, 8, 9 spot. Typically not 9, because Brett Moore has been hitting well this season. That next one also off the mark for another ball. So you don't really want Brett Moore way back at a place like number 9. So typically we're actually seeing him more so in that 6 and 7 area. That one, called that one a ball a second ago. That time he's going to wave the arm and rule strike number 1. 2-1 the count. Here's the next pitch from West. This one cut on sent to the third base side, and that'll go right under the glove of the third baseman Gallagher, and that might go as an error, but regardless, Shaker gets their first base runner in this one as Brett Moore takes first in the leadoff spot. There you go. We'll see. And yes, indeed, they are going to rule this one an error on Cleveland Heights. And that really was one that Gallagher should have had. So you can't exactly blame the scorer here on Game Changer. That's what we use for our statistics. Connor Adams typically running it. I assume he is once again. Gotta appreciate how he's been helping me out here in the commentary. There, a swing and miss from Quentin Garnett. Again, he's the second baseman in this one, which really is a rare occurrence for Garnett. You either see him behind the dish or you see him over at third. Today, it's a new day. Why not? Here, West going to step off of the mound. The batting order behind Quentin Garnett in the 2-hole is going to be Will Tagan, also due up here in this inning. Behind him is Berglund. Landrum in the 5 spot, that pitch upstairs. 1-1 the count. Behind Landrum, Fogarty in right field here today. Richard, who's the designated hitter in the 7 spot. Andrew Burley and Nemo Crosby capping off the 9-man batting order. 1-1 the count, 1 man on. This one sent our way, and that's going to get down between center field and left. That'll be a single for Quentin Garnett to get Shaker's first hit of the ball game. And now 2 guys on with nobody out. And it's time for Will Tagan to do some damage here. Behind us, a lacrosse game has gotten started. However, Shaker already in a bit of a pickle. They're down by 4. And as I say that, make it 5. Down by 5 to Jackson High School. I believe they're the Bears, all in purple. Kind of that North Royalton look that we saw earlier. Not to give anyone any negative flashbacks, but that was not a pretty game for Shaker baseball in that one either. 2 men on, 1-0 the score, 1-0 count. Here's the pitch. That's right down Main Street, strike number 1. Shaker with their first hit coming from Garnett, moving more up into scoring position. He stands at second. Cleveland Heights already with 1 error. That should have been on Brett Moore. He was the one that reached, courtesy of that error. That one in there for another strike. Just went right under the glove of the third baseman, Gallagher. And yeah, he really should have had that. We've seen a lot of errors from the third baseman lately of some of these opponents. We saw plenty from the Medina guys as well. Here's a double play opportunity. The throw on to second and the throw on to first. Was that in time? Doesn't look like it was, as Tagan strutting his way back to first. Not sure if we exactly got the throw, as it looked as though he was tripped from second. Couldn't get the best view of that one from this side. All we do know is that it'll be runners at the corners with 1 away. Here's the pitch upstairs, and we're looking at Will Tagan on a stealing attempt. This one's going to escape into shallow center. With an error, Brett Moore will make his way home, and Will Tagan makes himself at home over at third. So, Shaker ties this one up off of another error from Cleveland Heights. Make it 2 already. And Berglund's still in there, don't get me wrong. Shaker still with 1 away. This one blasted into left field. That's going to one-hop off the fence and over. So make it a ground rule double and an RBI for Berglund. There you go, 2-1 now your score. Shaker back to the offensive action quickly against their big rival in Cleveland Heights. So Tagan has scored, Brett Moore has scored. But let's see if they're done here. Berglund standing off of second. He's in scoring position. The next guy up is C.J. Landrum, who's over at first here today. Here's the first pitch to him. In there for strike 1. Again, Shaker looking for that bounce back victory, especially against a team like Heights, a team that you know is beatable. 5-12 on the season. This one's sent over to the right side. A foul. That was a shocking ground rule double. Looked like it just lined its way into left field. Somehow took a hop over that tall fence and left. Not exactly the tallest wall you're going to see, but it's definitely not short. There, CJ Landrum goes down on strikes. So that'll bring up Andrew Fogarty. Still yet to see his first hit of the campaign. 0 for 19. And here's the pitch. This one skied our way. This one carries, but it'll go as an out, and it'll score Berglund from third. Or excuse me, it won't score Berglund from third. That was our final out of the inning. Excuse me. He was running his way home. Completely forgot that that was actually the third out. So Fogarty, 0 for 20 now. And we're really just hoping that he picks up. But for now, we're going to take our break. 2-1 your score. Shaker just getting two to come across on two hits of their own and two defensive errors from Cleveland Heights. So Cole Klein is back to it on the mound. He has so far pitched 13, 9 of which have hit the strike zone. He's been attacking hitters. Let's see if that still is approach when we come back for the top of the second. Thank you very much for tuning in. My name is Vaughn Ullum here with the call from Shaker Heights, Ohio. So far, no shortage of scoring. 2-1 is the score. Shaker leading. This one grounded through. Nope. Brett Moore stops it before it makes its way to the grass, but unfortunately for him, the throw not in time, and that was a tough play to make. Might rule that one as an infield single. There was nothing better Brett Moore Jr. could have done about it. And let's see. Indeed, they are going to roll this one an infield single. So Cole Klein, a rare occurrence, but he's already allowed 3 hits on the day, and we've only got 3 outs for him as well. That one very much upstairs and in tight. I was close to running up and getting Cullis on the dome. Polk standing off of first. Cole Klein with his next offering here. This one sent over to the right side and foul. Thought that one could have been in play for a moment, but it was not in play. Cullis with a good opportunity here to move Polk forward, but this looks like a fly out over to left field. Nemo Crosby with a great running grab out there in left, and this will keep the runner over at first, and it'll only move the out number up to 1. So there you go. Cullis down on a fly out. Nemo Crosby with some great speed behind him to make that play. So Klein, 17 pitches now. Here's the 18th, the first one A and C's. And the pickoff attempt will get away as the throw from CJ Landrum actually made its way into shallow left field. And so Polk was able to take second really uncontested. And there you go. Not ideal that time around. Now they are in a good position to tie this one up at 2 apiece. Runner on second, 2-1 the score. Shaker leading. Aiden with the next pitch upstairs for a ball. Ball 1. That was the first pitch he saw. Didn't get a pitch because that last one was on the pickoff attempt over at first. However, Polk just decided to bolt for it. There, a swing and a miss upstairs. So far, Klein yet to rack up a strikeout. West, on the other hand, has got one. However, he's pitched for 2 more outs than he has so far. Excuse me, actually, no, that's completely incorrect. He's actually pitched 1 less out than he has. Cole Klein checks the runner at second. Here's the pitch. It's cut on, missed on a pitch inside. Got him a little bit jammed. Cole Klein in the red jersey. Now he's going to step off the mound. Shaker in their red and white look here for home. Again, new jerseys this year. That one off the mark for ball 3. We go to a countdown. 3 balls, 2 strikes, only 1 away. Full count with a payoff pitch making its way to Aiden. Number 16 gets the payoff pitch in tight for ball 4. So that'll draw a walk. And through over 13 innings pitched so far for Klein, he's given up 8 walks, so it's not exactly the most unlikely thing. However, it's just never an ideal thing. Here's the pitch. This one cut on missed. A pitch downstairs looked a bit awkward from Holland. Holland here today, the last guy in the 9-man batting order. Playing second base here today. Next offering in tight. My goodness. Had a chance at getting him again. Luckily, it didn't. Here we are, top of the second, 1-run ball game. Shaker leading. 26th pitch now from Klein is making its way. And that one in there for a strike. Looked a bit in tight again, but the umpire says, oh, no, no. I'm going to give you that one. So there is strike number 2. 1-2 the count. 1 away. A strikeout here would be big. Here it comes. And there, rings him up on strike 3. Once again, that same spot looked a little bit in tight, but Klein using that umpire strike zone to his advantage, and he'll get his first K of the day. And he'll keep the runners at first and second. So, we're back to the top of the order in the form of the designated hitter, Thomas. RBI opportunity for him here, but he's 0 for 1. This one sent over to the right side and foul. 2 outs now with 2 men on. Klein with his 29th pitch making its way in a moment. Here he stands upright, checks the runner at first, now over at second. Here's the pitch. This one's sent over down the third baseline. It'll drop foul just barely. That was close. That would have drove in a run. And if you do drive home a run here, we're at a tied game. Aiden off of first. It's Polk off of second. Klein with his 30th on an 0-2 pitch. Got him swinging upstairs. Got him chasing at some nasty upstairs heat. And that's going to be a 0 put up by Cole Klein here in the top of the second. Shaker still up by 1. 2-1 is the score. They're going to look for more insurance as due up. It's going to be Richard, the designated hitter. Then behind him, Burley and Crosby, the 7, 8, 9 guys. We'll see what they got in them when we come back. My name is Vaughn Ullum here with the call from Shaker. Shaker leading this one 2-1. Due up, it's going to be Richard, the first guy. And that first pitch in there for a strike. Richard, a slimmer build, made his way onto the varsity team this year for his senior year. This one skied up in the left, or into the left side. I thought that would have a bit more carry to it, but maybe it's the wind that might have gotten a piece of it. But that one really stalled out, made its way out into foul territory and away from play. So that'll be strike 2 on Richard. Richard entering today with an average of 176. That pitch off the plate for a ball. Good discipline from him there. That's a pitch they're going to want you to swing out outside across from where your batter's box lies. And now here's the next kick and offering on the 1-2. This one's sent right into left field and right into the center of left field as the guy occupying that space, Polk, is able to make the grab. That was the guy standing on second earlier. In that top half of the inning, Polk was on second, and then it was Cullis who ended up behind him after that. 2 outs for Cole Klein, got out of a jam. This one blasted our way. That one's got some carry on it, but eventually it'll die and it'll fall. This one making its way just next to the wall, and Burley, with a strong contact base hit, makes his way to second with a 1-out double. And Shaker's got another guy in scoring position. Let's see what Nemo Crosby can do with that in mind. Again, Burley, the catcher here today. Haven't seen him in that spot all season long. But here he is today, giving him that spot. And Nemo Crosby out in left. See, that's more typical of what we've seen throughout the year. Typically, we've seen Burley over at third or a designated hitter. Excuse me. Excuse me. 2-1 is the score. Shaker looking for more right here. And this one skied over to the left side. It looks like that's going to get out of play for strike number 1 on Crosby. With only 1 hit on the campaign, he's 1 for 21. So he's got an average of 0.48. So he's got to pick up those batting stats right here. This one's popped up, and it'll go behind home plate and out for strike 2. But yeah, Crosby's only hit was a double, so you got to give him that. But it came against Menor when he went 1 for 2. So his peak average is 0.62. There, back in on a dive is Burley on the pickoff attempt over at second. But Crosby has made good contact. However, still, out of his 21 ABs, 11 strikeouts. That one missing the mark for a ball. And when you're striking out in over half of your at-bats, he's got to figure out what's happening at that point. Here's the 1-2. Cut on, fouled back into the caging behind home plate. Near side over to that Red Raider dugout. West with his 27th pitch going to be delivered on another 1-2 as we do it again. Only 1 out, 1 man on in scoring position in the form of Andrew Burley, who sent a double our way. Did he go? Doesn't look like he did. And the infield umpire says no, he didn't. So that'll leaving us up 2 balls, 2 strikes, only 1 away. RBI opportunity for Nemo Crosby, who in his 1 double has gotten RBI. This one blasted over to left. and just foul. Had the power behind it to make its way over the fence, and I believe it might have made its way over the fence, and I think it did. But unfortunately, if you're making the hit like that, you just gotta bring it fair. Or excuse me, I believe it actually just missed. Maybe made its way off the wall. But my goodness, that was close. Here's the next pitch. This one's sent into left field. Outfielder gets under it, and Polk, with now 2 outs on the inning, brings us out number 2 of the inning. So with that out, we return to the top of the order in the form of shortstop Brett Moore. 0 for 1 on the day. He reached on an error and later came across to score. This one skied up. This should be a pop out unless it gets out, and get out it does, right into that opponent bullpen. Shaker leading by 1. They had Burley in scoring position with only 1 out. You don't want to leave him there. That would be quite rude. Brett Moore on the season so far is batting with an average of 214. His peak average was up around he was over 300 early in the season. That was after a good performance out there in San Diego. But ever since that, it has gone down. And don't get me wrong, it hasn't been a straight decline. This one fouled over to the right side. That'll be strike 2 to Brett Moore. It hasn't been a straight decline. He's gone up a couple times. He's had some great games at the plate. However, overall, it's made its decline from the top of where it was. Again, it peaked up at 364 early in the season, except you got to keep in mind I was only through about 5 games. Here's the pitch. This one sent in the center fielder under it, making the grab. That'll be out number 3. So, Shaker still up by 1 as both teams were able to score in the first inning, but here in the second, nothing doing. So 2-1 is the score. 3 hits per side. The real kicker is that Cleveland Heights with 2 errors already, both of which coming from the first inning. Cole Klein making his way back to the mound. He's pitched well so far. 30 pitches, 20 strikes. Let's see what he's got cooking in the third. When we come back, my name is Vaughn Ullum here with the call in at home territory, Shaker Heights, Ohio. So, Shaker Heights leading this one not by much. It's only by 1 run. This one fouled behind the batter. Over for Cleveland Heights. So Cole Klein now to 31 pitches, 21 hitting the strike zone. Can you imagine throwing 31 and hitting the strike zone 31 times? But here's the pitch. That one in there. Taken for strike 2. West the batter. In the 2-hole in the order. He's pitching today. And so far, if we finish this one up, he would be the losing pitcher. Here's the kick in the pitch. That one upstairs on him. Try to get him chasing on something up high and get him jammed. Unfortunately, not the case. Didn't pull the trigger. Again, Cole Klein really hasn't given up a lot of hits in his 13 innings pitched. This one sent over to Brett Moore. Slides, makes the play. Throw on the first. He got him. How about it? Brett Moore with a beauty of a defensive play on the infield and keeping runners off the bases as we begin the top of the third. Brett Moore. Holy beauty of a defensive effort. Going to Salem University is Brett Moore for baseball. And, well, that's why. And here's the pitch. Nick Square, 1-for-1 on the day. That pitch got away from Burley. And if it wasn't for Brett Moore, now you probably would have had a guy in scoring position to worry about. And when you're only up by one, you just can't have that happen. Cole Klein with, oh, it looks like that last one was a strike. That next one down low, or even up at 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Courtesy of Brett Moore and his great play. Nick Square 1-for-1 on the day with a double that made its way right over to us out here in left center. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Cut on, skied up. That'll make its way into right field. Who's got it? C.J. Landrum making the play, collapsing back onto the field, out in the grass, just making the catch. And there you go, C.J. Landrum. Bigger man falling back to make the grab is the first baseman. And so 2 great defensive plays bring us the 2 outs and keep runners off the bases here in the top of the third. But Cole Klein still has 1 more to go in the 3rd inning. Let's see. Here comes Miller, the right fielder in today's game. He's got a hit and an RBI with it. This one sent over to the left side. It'll be foul. Again, Baker up by 1. 1 swing of the bat could tie this one up if you're Miller. This one sent over. And it looks as though that might have hit off of Miller. He limps a little bit as he makes his way out of the batter's box, but now he's got to return after it being a foul ball. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Cole Klein looking for another K. So far, he's got 2. He struck out Thomas at the top of the order, and then he struck out Holland at the very bottom of the order, the 1-9 guys. Here's the 0-2 from the left-handed dealer. This one should get down, and indeed it will, right in front of Will Tagan. He snatches this one, sends it inside of the field to Brett Moore, but that will be a 2-out single for Miller. Now 2 for 2 on the day with back-to-back singles. One man on, 2 out. As it's going to be Miller taking the lead off of first. And this pitch runs in and gets Gallagher. First pitch got him. And so that'll move Miller up into scoring position. 2 guys on with 2 away. This is really where you're going to be upset if you let a run come across here. You had 2 outs and nobody on, and your defense has really worked well behind you to ensure those 2 outs were the case. And so that one fouled back into the glove of Burley. It'll go as strike 1. Beautiful day out here in Shaker Heights, Ohio. It just got a little bit darker because the sun decided to hide away from me right as I said that. Made its way right behind a gray cloud. This pitch, down low for ball 1. Polk 1-for-1 on the day. Looking to drive home a run here. But blue skies out here. The game time temp was 79. This pitch in there. Right down Main Street. Strike number 2, 1-2 the count. Shouldn't cool off till about 7 p.m. We should be good until about then. And when I mean cooling off, I mean by 2 degrees. 77 degrees would then be your temp. The high today, 81. That one just outside. It'll be a ball to the batter, Polk. Shaker, 9 wins and 11 losses on the year, looking to get back in that win column after losing their last three. They lost on the road in Pennsylvania to North Allegheny 6-4. Then they lost to Medina. There, looking strikeout for Cole Klein. He'll get his third now as we make our way to the middle of the third. Shaker doing well so far, keeping this one a lead for them. 2-1 is the score. Shaker Heights on top here at home, looking to not let that last loss here at home hinder their ability to get another win here at home against another GCC rival. 4-4 is how they're looking in the Greater Cleveland Conference, looking to get back to a winning record. Let's see if they can hold on. 2-1 is the score. My name is Vaughn Ullum, as I will be making the call of the bottom of the third when we come back. Due up here is going to be Quentin Garnett, the guy in the 2 spot in the batting order today. He's actually over on second base here today. That was the interesting move of the day defensively, putting him over at second and putting Burley behind the dish to catch the balls and strikes from Cole Klein. First pitch to Garnett of the new inning is down low and away for ball number 1. Garnett hitting pretty well of late. Today he's 1 for 1. That next one once again off the mark. But yeah, Quentin Garnett entering into today with an average of 300. This one fouled over to the right side. But mainly, those have been singles. It's not like what we see from Braden White, where he's hit it 6 times, 3 of which have gone over the wall. That's not the case. We're getting consistent hitting from Quentin Garnett, but most of them are singles, and sometimes that's just okay. That one missing the mark. I mean, look at the Cleveland Guardians. It's called small ball. You're not getting all these bombs like the Yankees are going to get. Of course, they have that smaller field. That one off the plate for ball 4. Quentin Garnett drawing a walk. And that's also going to help his OBP, which is actually 333 entering into today. But that's going to go up here as he's already on base 2 out of the 2 times he's had a plate appearance. So that'll bring up Will Tagan, 0 for 1 on the day. Reached on an error as well, as Brett Moore did behind him. Quentin Garnett back in safely on a dive. On the pickoff attempt, unsuccessful. Two to one your score. Shaker Heights leading here at home. Looking to avoid back-to-back home losses. That one upstairs on Will Tagan. It'll go for ball 1. Tagan, the center fielder in today's game, and what has really been just about all games. At this point, he has had 56 at-bats, 67 plate appearances. And yeah, he's walked 10 times. He hasn't been hit by a pitch yet, however. That pickoff attempt unsuccessful again. And for him, 18 hits in his at-bats have brought him to an average of 321. One of the best averages on the team, if not the best. I'd have to do some comparison at that point. That one just missing the mark. That was close. Holy cow. Shaker here today, as mentioned, in their red caps, red jerseys, white pants. However, it's Heights in the black caps, black pinstripe jerseys with the yellow accents around it. And here we're going to get a stealing attempt from Garnett before the pitch is delivered. And it looked as though it might have been ruled a balk. So Garnett is going to be in safely without any trouble. We'll see if that is indeed the case. We're awaiting that score to be ruled. And indeed, yes, we get the balk advancement from Garnett, moving from first to second. RBI opportunity for Will Tagan now. 0 for 1 on the day. Again, he reached on an error as it's just barely missed the glove of the third baseman. Gallagher just made its way under the glove. That pitch down low, moving our count to 3 balls and 1 strike. Nobody out here in the bottom of the third inning. Shaker up, but only by 1. They're looking for some insurance under the sun here. Looking for a great win under some great weather. This one popped foul behind home plate. Will Tagan, we typically see him in center field. We've seen him pitch once. He pitched 3 innings. Wasn't exactly the prettiest of outings for him there, and that's why he did only last 3 innings. He got the loss against Olympian. That was the final game. There is a walk for Will Tagan. He'll take his spot over at first. But as I was mentioning, he pitched 3 innings against Olympian High School. It was in Olympian High School, the Californian school, just a couple miles away from the border of Mexico. It was lovely weather down there. It wasn't actually as great as it is now. That one just barely kept in front of Nick Square, the catcher in today's game. That was close. If that had missed the mark and gotten away from him, that would then move 2 guys in the scoring position. Garnett off of second, Tagan off of first. This next pitch missing the mark again, ball 2. And now it looks like we're going to get it looks like West is going to get a word from Nick Square. He'll take his spot out from behind home plate. He's going to say a few words to West after the back-to-back balls to begin Berglund's count. Berglund 1 for 1 on the day with an RBI. In yesterday's game, he was really that MVP for Shaker baseball. Went 2 for 3 with an RBI in that game as well. 1 of 2 runs that came across to score. This one popped up. That'll make its way into the grass of shallow left field. Handled by the shortstop, and that is a good first out. Much needed by West. Here, a big wind gust is coming our way. Hopefully, won't be taking down our setup at all. Doesn't look like it will be. So, Berglund is retired, and he's been in a bit more of a slump of late. He don't get me wrong, has been hitting poorly, but it's just been a lot less frequent of where it used to be. This one, off the mark to C.J. Landrum, ball 1. Berglund is hitting with an average of .352. That actually is the best average of anyone. However, the hits have just slowed down a little bit of late, but not by much at all. Let's just say over the past 3 games, he's had 2 two-hit games, one of which coming against North Allegheny. Maybe I'm just making this up. With a .352 average, maybe I am. Just seems like it's been slower production. That pitch inside just seems like it's been slower production because Shaker's offense hasn't been getting a lot to come home and score. Landrum 0 for 1. The next pitch, cut on, sent over to the left side. We'll do it again at a 2-strike count. 1 away. 2-1 the score. Shaker looking for more. After the foul, we got a ball and 2 strikes. Gorgeous day out here right now. This one fouled back behind home plate into the caging. Bottom of the third, after 2 outs, we are in the middle inning. But Shaker's looking to add some more runs to the board before we get there. West already over the 50 pitch mark. Here's his 54th, and that's upstairs and in for ball 2. 2-2 the count, 1 away. with two guys on and a 2-1 score. Next pitch, and he'll ring him up. Landrum goes down on strikes for the second time now. Victim of actually the only 2 strikeouts that West has thrown so far. And so he'll make his way back to the dugout. Due up next is going to be the left-handed hitter of Andrew Fogarty. First pitch to him. This one's skied our way. That's got some pop behind it. However, the left fielder under it. Andrew Fogarty still yet to get that first base knock of the campaign. Really pulling for Fogarty at this point. Now he's, I believe, 0 for 22 on the season, and we'll see if this continues forward as we make our way further into the game. Shaker up 2-1. Only those 3 runs have been scored in the first. Not too much action since then, but here we are in the middle inning. We'll see if Heights is able to get anything on the board and maybe tie this one up, maybe even take the lead, but Cole Klein on the mound to not let that happen. Thank you very much for tuning in. My name is Vaughn Allum here with the call from the Shaker Heights High School baseball field. Cole Klein back to the bump as we begin the middle inning, inning number 4. So far, he's pitched 46, 31, hitting the strike zone. He's struck out 3, only walking 1, but he's also hit a guy with a pitch as well. Here's the first pitch of a new inning. This one's skied over to left field. Nemo Crosby under it, and he'll make the routine grab out there in the outfield. So there you go. 1 pitch, 1 out. That's always a good way to start a new inning if you're the starting pitcher. Sun peeking back out now as we get the rays of sunshine pouring over the Shaker Heights High School baseball field just outside of the Russell H. Rupp Stadium. That one missing the mark for a ball. A lot of sports going on lately. A lot of baseball going at the high school level, the college level, of course at the professional level. Cleveland just losing the other day, just yesterday. 3 straight blown opportunities to hold the lead where it was for Hunter Gaddis. And he has really been struggling. And we'll see how that's going to affect his position moving forward. There, a swing and a miss. Strike 2. Cole Klein not having such problems currently. Did give up the tied 0-0 score in the top of the first, but after that he got a little bit of run support. Shaker in the lead now 2-1. That pitch upstairs for ball 2. 8-0 for 0 on the day as the guy in the 8 spot walked his first time up. He's the first baseman in today's game. And here's a 2-2 pitch upstairs, ball 3. Oh, holy cow, never mind. There's strike 3. He rings him up, and that umpire has really loved the inside strike. And I know those batters are up there really not exactly satisfied with what he's been calling. But again, I've said this a great many times this season, the best of hitters can adapt to what kind of strike zone an umpire gives you. That's really something that's good to get into your mind at this level especially. Oh, 1 the count. Here's the pitch upstairs and away for ball 1. The batter, Holland, 0 for 1 on the day. Struck out his first time up. He's the second baseman in today's game, just to the right of the last guy, Aiden. Klein now past the 50 pitch mark. Here's his 55th upstairs for wall 2. Again, Cleveland Heights looking for that very first GCC victory that isn't against Euclid. Because so far, everyone's been beaten up on Euclid. Shaker with double-digit wins against them earlier. There, a swing and a miss. That'll be strike 2. Holland not trying to be the first multi-strikeout victim of the Heights order. We'll see if that is just what happens. We already had that on Shaker's side as C.J. Landrum struck out twice. This one's sent over to Quentin Garnett. He handles, and the throw on to first is on target and on time for out number 3. So 3 up, 3 down. Go the Heights Tigers, and Shaker could really use some more insurance runs. A 1-run lead for as long as it has been now. It never exactly feels quite satisfactory. We'll see what happens next in the bottom of the 4th inning. Thank you very much for tuning in. My name is Vaughn Ullum here with the call. We'll be back. And we're halfway through this one as we make our way into the bottom of inning number 4. Of course, in high school ball, if you are a longtime viewer of Shaker Heights baseball, you know 7 innings. At least that's typically what happens. We've had 2 extra inning games, one go into the 8th, one go into the 9th. This one down low. Richard takes it for ball 1. Richard, the senior batting right. Heavy wind gust making our way into left center as we speak. That one, was that ruled a strike? Not exactly sure. No, it was not. Ball 2. Again, this umpire having a very, very in tight on the batter strike zone. That one down low. There you'll get a piece of that wind gust. Again, the wind gusts haven't been too incredible here today. Before the game, we checked what the wind gusts would be, and they're only about 23 miles per hour. 3-1 the count to Richard. Here's the next pitch, cut on foul over to the left side, so we work our way to a full count. Behind me, Shaker's lacrosse squad. Not looking too good. They're down by 12 as we speak, 13-1. That men's lacrosse squad might be JV. Actually, not exactly sure if this is JV or varsity. But there you go. There, Richard takes the walk over at first. And we got the leadoff guy on here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Shaker hasn't gotten many hits, only 3. They're actually losing in that department to Cleveland Heights currently. There, a swing. This one's popped up for the third baseman to handle. Works his way into the infield grass, and that's going to be out number 1 as Andrew Burley makes his way back to the dugout. So Burley 1 for 2 on the day with a double in the left center. That's not going to help the current cause of moving Richard forward into scoring position. Nemo Crosby Due up now, another right-handed hitter. The left fielder in today's game. He's made some good defensive plays over there in left. And there you go. The wind gusts really picking up there. There, a swing and a miss from Nemo Crosby. First pitch of the at-bat makes it strike number 1. Shaker up 2-1. Looking to extend their lead with something here. It's been a 2-1 score ever since that first inning. This one grounded over the third baseman. He can't handle it. It'll skip by him. Richard gonna try to make his way to third. The flip. Is he out? No, the baseball went right past the pitcher who was covering. And it'll be runners at the corners with only one out. Double play is in order, and they could really use one here. However, at the high school level, it's just a lot more unlikely than at the professional level or maybe even the college level. But this is why they play the sport all these years, right? We're up to the top of the order. Brett Moore, the shortstop. And now here's the, he's out over at third. And indeed he is. Richard with some faulty base running was making his way home for a moment. But he turned around and the baseball was almost already there to Gallagher over at third. So Richard is out number 2 in the inning, and that's always unfortunate, especially when you had 2 guys in scoring position for a guy like Brett Moore with only 1 out. This one's sent up into the sky. This is probably going to be out number 3. Indeed it is. And so that faulty base running hurts a solid amount. So Shaker up by 1. And actually we're going to step in front of the camera for this one now. Thank you very much for tuning in. Right now, we've got for you a tight ball game, and it really shouldn't be. Shaker should be getting more offense going, but the offense this season has really continued to struggle, and that's what continues to go on here. Only 3 hits. They're losing the department 4-3. However, the errors of Cleveland Heights have helped them a lot. 3 errors for them currently. Shaker without any errors, and they didn't have any errors against them in the last game they played. Shaker winning that one 7-3. They had Tyler Zach on the mound there. Actually got an immaculate inning. We could speak more on that if we get relief later in this ball game. But for now, Cole Klein pitching a good game. Let me get you the stats here. 57 pitches, 38 strikes, 4 strikeouts, 1 walk, and he hit a batter. And the 1 run that came across wasn't earned. So he's definitely pitching well. Again, he's proven to be more of a strikeout guy. Not as many strikeouts here today as compared to that Gilmore game that he debuted in. But what works has worked for him today. So we're going to send you back down. Thank you very much for tuning in. My name is Vaughn Elamir with the call. We're through 4 innings, 3 more to go. Shaker up by 1. Cole Klein, the left-handed pitcher, sends this one forward. And that's off the mark for ball 1. Cole Klein entering into today after a little bit of a relief appearance yesterday. It wasn't a grand relief appearance. Keep in mind, the only reason he's pitching today, this one fouled over the left side. The only reason he's in today after a relief outing was because he only pitched 6 pitches, getting 3 outs on 3 strikes and 3 balls. Again, Shaker up by 1 here as we enter into the top of inning number 5. Cole Klein looking to keep this score where it is. This one grounded over to Brett Moore. He'll scoop it up on the backhand. The throw in time for out number 1. Brett Moore made an incredible defensive play earlier in the ball game, and he's going to continue to make those plays. You like to see that happen, especially after he's had a couple rough plays over there. He does lead the team in errors with 11. But today, nothing doing. Still 0 errors for Shaker currently. Cleveland Heights, however, with 3. Here's the pitch. That's in there for strike 1. Klein, so far, giving up 4 hits, but of course he's evened that out with the strikeouts. He's got 4 there as well. Here's the pitch. This one grounded up the middle. Can anyone get to it? No. Brett Moore dove out to second. It'll get through shallow center. And that'll keep West over at first as Will Tagan moves forward to make the play on it. However, 1 man on, 1 man out. The go-ahead run up at the plate here in the top of the 5th. Cole Klein now with a 63rd pitch on its way, and a swing and a miss is what he'll get from Nick Square, who's 1 for 2 on the day with a double. He came across as the 1 run to score for Cleveland Heights. Here's the pitch. This one's fouled back. There's strike number 2. West, the runner over at first. He's the tying run if he gets to that spot. Here, Burley going to mention something to Cole Klein. It looks like the umpire also left his spot, mentioning something maybe to the Red Raider dugout. Not exactly sure what that matter was. Cole Klein stares down the runner at first. Now here's the pitch. That's going to run in and get him in the shoulder. My goodness, he was very in tight to home plate. Maybe leaned his shoulder forward a little bit because he was very up close and personal with home plate. But regardless, that'll be another base runner for Heights, and so now the go-ahead run is on, tying run in scoring position. He's over at second. Here's the next pitch. Upstairs, ball 1 to the next batter, Miller, who's 2 for 2 on the day, looking to go 3 for 3 with an RBI knock now. He's got every opportunity to tie this one up. Here's the next offering. This one's skied up, and that's not going to do the trick if it's kept in. And indeed it is. In foul territory, Burley makes his way over to the right, and there is a big out number 2. We got that defensive play earlier from Brett Moore at short, and now there's the second out. And that is big if you're Cole Klein. Eases a lot of tension. Here's the next offering and a new batter. Went fishing down low for that one. Strike. To the batter, Gallagher, the third baseman in today's game. Shaker up by 1, trying to keep it that way. That pitch in there again for strike number 2. Two guys on. 0-2 count and a 2-1 ball game. Another wind gust coming our way. Our apologies if the camera might be shaking it a little bit. Here's the pitch. And I believe Cole Klein thought that would be strike 3, but he was already making his way off to the dugout, and the umpire didn't exactly agree with him, so he's back in position. Here's the 1-2, and he went down low again. Strike 3, got him swinging. And that's strikeout number 5 for Cole Klein through inning number 5. So Heights, only with 6 more outs to work with, they are down by 1. Shaker with 9 more outs to work with. Of course, they're up by 1. Let's see if they can keep it that way or extend their lead here in the bottom of the 5th. Thank you very much for joining us. My name is Vaughn Ullum here in Shaker Heights, Ohio, with the call of the ball game. And due up is going to be the right-handed batter, the second baseman in today's game, Quentin Garnett. He's 1-for-1 with a walk as well. Now let's see if he can get on base once more. Only 2 strikeouts so far in the batting order. It came from C.J. Landrum, who went down on strikes twice. But yeah, it's only him to be struck out in this order. On the other hand, Cole Klein getting 5 strikeouts on his side. Two balls to Quentin Garnett. This one sent over to the left side and foul. West still in there, and he's pitched well except that first inning. Same thing as Cole Klein. The only runs that have come across were in that first inning. And now here's the next pitch. This one's sent over to the right side, and it'll get down. Another base hit for Garnett. He'll move to 2-for-2 on the day with a walk. And again, Quentin Garnett is killing it up at the plate. That'll bring Will Tagan in. Tagan 0-for-1 on the day with a walk. He reached in that 0-for-1. Knocked over to the third base side. Just went right under the third baseman's glove, Gallagher. This one down low and away, he'll take for a ball. One ball, no strikes to Will Tagan. Tagan with some power behind the bat. Let's see if he can use it. This pickoff attempt brings Garnett back in safely. Here's the next pitch. Once again, missing the mark. 2 balls, no strikes. Nobody out just yet as we're just getting started, or not really just getting started in the bottom of the 5th. Of course, we saw that liner into shallow right field from Quentin Garnett. Here's another pitch, down low to Will Tagan. The throw from the catcher on the first brings Garnett back in safely once again. 3 balls, no strikes now to Tagan. Let's see if he can draw a 4-pitch walk and move Garnett maybe in a scoring position with nobody out. That's always lovely. Here's the pitch. Off the mark. And indeed he does draw the 4-pitch walk. And now he has become a base runner 3 times in each of his 3 plate appearances. Of course, reaching on an error once. So now 2 guys on, 1 in scoring position. Nobody out for Will Berglund, who's 1-for-2 on the day with a double. And an RBI coming with it. West now to 75 pitches. The 76th is going to be the first one Berglund sees in his 3rd at-bat. Here it comes, down low. Again, as mentioned, Berglund, one of the best averages on the team. And if you really want to look at it from a different lens, he really does have the best average on the team. This one grounded over to third, touched up by the guy over at third, getting the force out, but the throw went wild across the diamond. And so Berglund moves up to second, and Tagan moves over to third. So basically, think of this as a bunt. You had a guy at first and second with no outs. Now you got a guy at second and third with 1 out. Think of it that way. Now the umpire's actually meeting now. We'll see. Since the ball got out of play, what does this mean? Does this mean that the runners move forward another base? And it doesn't look like it will. So C.J. Landrum so far has struggled. 0-for-2 on the day with a pair of strikeouts. But he's got the opportunity and the power to make this a 5-1 ball game. We'll see. Here's the first pitch. This one grounded over to the third base side. The throw home, and Tegan is out. And the throw on the first, a double play. Landrum, not one with speed. And so his bolting to first, just not enough. And they get the out at home, and they get the out at first. So there you go. Once again, Shaker leaves guys behind on base. And that just keeps on happening. Seems like it's just been a trend. So, after the fifth, guess what? Your score is exactly the same as it was in the first inning. 2-1 is the score. Cole Klein back to the mound, and we'll tell you more about the sixth when we come back after this one. Shaker still up by one, same as after we left the first inning, 2-1. The only difference have been the number of hits, but Shaker still down by one in that department. 5-4 in hits. Cleveland Heights leading. Here's the pitch. Oh, upstairs and in. It's going to get him. First pitch of a new inning isn't too promising, as that's going to bring the batter to first, and the tying run is on with nobody out. Polk is that runner now over at first. The batter now, Cullis. The center fielder in today's game is 0 for 2. Here's the pitch. This one popped up, and it's going to go foul over the caging. Shaker looking for a win, and I mean, if they keep it the way it is, they will win. It's just a very dramatic win, and after the first inning, a very bland win, it feels like. Not much going on, except for a little bit of sloppy baseball from Heights. Again, 4 errors to him. Shaker without any. Here's the kick in the pitch from the left-handed dealer, and I believe that caught it. At least it should have. If it didn't, would have been very surprised. Making sure we get the confirmation there. And indeed, it is strike 2. Would have had some concerns if it wasn't. Here's the 0-2, nobody out. Tight for a ball. Cole Klein now, 75 pitches, 50 hitting the strike zone, so 66% getting there, 33% not getting there. Here's the pitch, upstairs and away. Here's the throw on to first, and it'll bring Polk back in safely. The throw from Burley behind the dish. Again, Burley not typically his spot there behind home plate, but just a different look as we're getting Quentin Garnett over at second. This one upstairs for a ball, the throw, and that's going to make its way into shallow center as Polk was able to move up into scoring position, and the count goes to full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. If you walk him here, not the worst thing in the world now, but it'll just put another guy on base, of course. Here's the payoff pitch. This one skied our way. This one could get down, but no thank you, says Nemo Crosby. The quick throw into Brett Moore will hold the runner at second. So a big out, number 1. Much needed by Klein. And the sun is starting to lower a bit more. And again, it's not really chilly whatsoever. It's still 79 degrees, and that was our starting game time temp. This one skied foul over to the right side. Eventually, that's going to get down, and it does. But yeah, I suppose partly cloudy is what the meteorologist would call this one. There's a handful of clouds in the sky, but it's not really affecting the weather much at all. And it's been a lovely week, at least start to the week, for Shaker Raider baseball. And not in the result that they've gotten, but just in what they've played in. Tomorrow, high is about 74. This pitch upstairs. That was ball one, 1-1 the count with one away. Here's the next kick and offering. Swing and a miss. Strike two. Big strike two to Aiden, who's 0 for 1 on the day. Aiden, the 8th guy in the lineup, he's walked once, he struck out once, and the other time he just got out. Or I guess that other time was a strikeout. Excuse me. Had a bit of a brain fog that time around. Shaker up by 1. Here's the 1-2 pitch. This one grounded over to Quentin Garnett. He'll handle, and the throw on the first is in time by a landslide. And that will be out number 2. So they do have a guy in scoring position, deep in scoring position at third. However, Cole Klein can definitely get out of this jam. Holland 0 for 2 on the day. Here's the pitch from Klein. Upstairs and away. Polk making some motions home, as if a pitch gets away from Burley, he's going to be bolted. Here, we're going to let you get a close eye on that runner. That one missing the mark again for another ball. This run comes across to score. We're tied up at 2-2. Imagine how tense the scenes would be in a Cleveland Heights, Shaker Heights extra inning affair. Here's the pitch. Foul back. Make it strike 1. 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 away. Again, Holland 0 for 2. He could really use the knock here, not letting his team down in a 2-out RBI spot. Here's Klein's 86th. This one's skied our way. This could get down. Nemo Crosby, however, gets under it. And that is big out number 3. So, after the top of the 6th, we go to the bottom of the 6th, and Shaker could maybe use some more insurance before Cleveland Heights comes up for the last time on offense, but we'll see what they do. Shaker Heights up 2-1. Cleveland Heights with 3 more outs to work with on offense, but they got to get there first. Let's see what Shaker can do now in the bottom half of this 6th inning. And we've been saying this all game. Shaker could use some insurance here. Only up by 1. The only 3 runs of the entire game coming across in the first inning. Cleveland Heights took the lead 1-0. Shaker doubled them up. They took the lead 2-1. After that, nothing. Nothing to speak of. Only 9 hits in the ball game as well. And yeah, if you like offense, hopefully you were there for the first inning, but if you joined us after and you like baseball offense, I apologize. Let's see. What can Shaker do here? 2-1 your score. Shaker looking for more. Here's the first pitch of a new inning. In there for a strike. I believe that's Fogarty due up. And indeed it is. Next pitch also in there for strike 2. Fogarty 0 for 2 on the day, 0 for 21 now on the season. And I mean, he has been a base runner. He's walked now 5 times, but he's struck out 11 times. And when you struck out 11 times in what is now 21 at-bats, that pitch is going to get away. Nobody on, so it doesn't matter too much except for meaning a ball. But that is not a great thing, especially for your senior year, when last year you had pretty good. And now this year, your senior year, you're in one heck of a slump. That one laid in there, and there's his 12th strikeout of the campaign. Just unfortunate sight to see for Andrew Fogarty. And he's talked to me about it. He doesn't know what's happened, but it's just really aggravating. Again, senior year, that's just not where you want to be. Here's the pitch. Colin Richard grounds this one over the shoulder, took an awkward bounce over the shoulder of the shortstop, and so Richard going to reach on an error. And so I think he'll be 0 for 2 on the day, but he's gotten a walk and he's reached that time. And there you go. So, a 1-out reach on error brings Richard over to first. Shaker up by only 1, as it's really been just about all game. Here's the pitch upstairs. Richard, a threat to steal. We'll see. He's got the speed on him. This is kind of the guy that you're going to want to see take a chance when you could use some insurance runs before the top of the 7th and final inning, where you can close this one out. Tagan blasts this one into center field. Center fielder under it, making the grab for the second out. Cullis making the play. And now you hear that the John Cena horns. You know that's going to be Nemo Crosby. And excuse me, that wasn't Will Tagan who just blasted that one our way. That was Andrew Burley. Don't know why I said Will Tagan. Tagan in the 3rd spot, Burley in the 8th spot. Maybe it's just because from here in our position just looks like a similar build. And they wear that same colored helmet. So, my apologies. That was Burley who just flew out into center field. One of 2 guys that has an extra base hit here today. The other one's Berglund. There, a swing. And this one's sent down the third baseline and foul for strike number 1. Colin Richard not trying to be left on base. We'll see if he makes a move to second. Again, in this spot where you are only up by 1, you're going to want one other run come across, and here he goes. He takes off, and it looks like they got him, and they did. So they got him earlier in the ball game as well, over at third as a base runner, and now this time they're going to catch him trying to steal second. Not a great day for base running if you're Richard. And now Cole Klein back out to the mound for the top of the 7th inning. Shaker looking for a complete game out of Cole Klein. 6 innings pitched, only giving up 5 hits. He's struck out 5. He's walked 1, but he's hit 3 guys with pitches. However, he's only let 1 single run come across, and that 1 run not earned even. So, let's see. Shaker looking to close this one out in the win column once again and move to 5-4 in the GCC. Thank you very much for joining us. My name is Von Ullum here with the call, and hopefully with the call of the final 3 outs of the ball game coming up. And we're back for the call of the top of the 7th inning. Cole Klein looking for a complete game on the mound. As so far he's pitched 6, only giving up 1 run. The other guy, West, for Cleveland Heights, he's pitched 6 innings. And so it might just be 2 pitchers we see today, 1 per side. That one in there for strike 1. Nobody out yet as we're just getting started. Shaker up 2-1. All 3 of the runs of the ball game came across in the first inning. There it looks like we get time called at the last moment. And now, without a time call, he's going to send this one. It's fouled off of, I believe, the batter down low. And so move us to an 0-2 count. The batter, Thomas, 0 for 3. He's in the leadoff spot, designated hitting. And when you're a designated hitter going 0 for 3, that's mighty unfortunate considering your job is to have an appearance at the plate. But that one going to run in, get him up high, and the tying run is on with nobody out. Cole Klein back on the mound. 89 pitches now. And now it looks like we're going to get a mound visit. No one following him out of the dugout. He'll probably stick in that spot, but we'll see. If you bring in a guy in relief, it would probably be Andrew Fogarty over there in right field. Because, you know, Klein could play that position. You could just swap him now. But they're going to stick with Klein on the mound. Again, the interesting move is if you make that move, you'd be having Andrew Fogarty come in relief when he's probably going to be starting later this week. Again, I don't know who's going to pitch tomorrow against Brunswick and who against University School. One of those is probably going to be Fogarty. The other one, maybe Brett Moore? That would make sense considering he's 1-0 with a great performance on the mound against Twinsburg. But that means after that, you're going to need to take him out for the next game. At least that's what happened last time. He said his arm hurt really bad last time. Because, again, he's not a pitcher. Their pickoff attempt brings him back in safely. But Brett Moore isn't a pitcher. So when you threw him in that spot, whether or not he did really well, which he did, there pitch number 91 misses from Cole Klein, ball 2. Whether or not he pitched well, it's not going to feel right on your arm. Your arm isn't meant to really throw 90-plus pitches. This one's going to get away, and the tying run makes his way into scoring position with nobody out. Uh-oh. 3 balls, no strikes to the batter, West. He's the pitcher up against Cole Klein. A tense position for him here. West, 1 for 3 on the day. Looking now for an RBI knock. Here's the pitch, off the plate, ball 4. You can't let the ball game get away from you, especially now that the go-ahead run is on over at first and the tying run at second. Cole Klein needs to settle this one down. 93 pitches for him. The 94th is going to be the first one Square sees in his 4th plate appearance of the day. That one laid right in there for strike 1. Good bounce-back pitch if you're Cole Klein. This man, Square, has been hit by a pitch today, but other than that, he's 1 for 2 with a run coming across to score. He is that one lone run for Cleveland Heights. This one fouled back. Another big strike. That's strike 2. Two guys on, one in scoring position. The tying run in scoring position in the form of Thomas. West over at first. Cole Klein gets the signal from the catcher, Andrew Burley. Now we'll check the runner at first. Now second, here's the pitch. Oh, just missing the mark, I guess, down low. It'll move us to a 1-2 count. If you're Cole Klein, the worst possible thing here is to load the bases. But it doesn't look like it will be here in the pitcher's count. Swing and a miss. Got him jammed in tight and down low. Strike three and a big strike three for out number one. Cole Klein now with 97 pitches, nearing the century mark. Pitch number 8 will be the first one for Miller, who's 2 for 3 on the day, and one big base knock can tie this one up. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Maybe that one was fouled off, actually, and it looks like that might have been the case, and indeed it was. 2-1 your score. Shaker Heights leading it here at home. They've only lost one here at home, and that was yesterday against Medina. Your final there was 6-2. Cole Klein, the third guy in the rotation, looking for another victory. That one cut on, sent up the middle. It'll be off the glove of Brett Moore. Here's the throw on the first, and it'll get away. The tying run comes across to score with a slide. And oh my goodness. 2-2 your score. Shaker tied with Cleveland Heights now, and the go-ahead run is on at third. And even more insurance is over at first. Runners at the corners with only one out. That'll go as Shaker's first defensive error. It'll go against Brett Moore. I do believe that pitch off the mark for a ball. That was pitch number 100 from Cole Klein. How much longer will he go? Here's the kick in the pitch. This one rocketed into shallow left. It'll get past Nemo Crosby. Rounding second is the lead runner. Will Tagan going to back him up? They're going to hold the lead runner at third. But oh my, Heights takes the lead. And Crosby bends over, shaking his head. Upset about that one. Can you believe it? Shaker 2 outs away from winning the ball game and taking a winning record back in the Greater Cleveland Conference, but now they're down by 1, and more runs could be soon to come. Here's the next pitch from Klein. This one rocketed into right field. Making the grab is Fogarty on the run. Great defensive effort to keep it a 1-run score. Runners are at second and at third. Gallagher at second, Miller at third. Now Shaker's going to need offense when we come back after this one. In the top of the 7th. 3-2 is the score. Heights leading on the road. Shaker took the game in Heights. Heights threatening to take the game at Shaker. Cole Klein with 2 outs now, but 2 runners in scoring position behind him. Here's the pitch. This one fouled back. Cullis 0 for 3 on the day, the center fielder in today's game. Hasn't struck out at all. Cole Klein has struck out 6 guys, walked 2, but he's hit 4 guys now with a pitch. And through his 13 innings pitched in each of his outings, that is tied for the most he's hit with pitches in an outing. He hit 4 guys against Mayfield as well. Shaker down by 1. Here's the pitch. This one sent down the third base line and foul. Cole Klein got to be shaking his head after the inning. Was 2 outs away from calling this one a day. But nope. A handful of hits gives Cleveland Heights the lead. Here's the 1-2, and this one's fouled over to the left side. Cole Klein 1 out away from bringing his offense back up, and the offense has some work to do. May I say, Shaker Actually, we'll tell you when we come back on the offensive side. This one blasted into left field. Crosby with the backtracking grab, but now it's a whole new ball game. Shaker entered into the inning. They were up by one. Now they're down by one, and the Red Raiders gonna huddle up there along the dugout. They're gonna talk things over with head coach Stephen English. And let's see what the Red Raiders can do to try and come back into this one. Heights leads it on the road here at Shaker Heights High School. My name is Vaughn Ullum with the call. And now the bottom of the seventh inning. Shaker with work to do. We'll be back. Nemo Crosby is going to be the first guy due up. First pitch to him. Cut on. This one blasted our way. That one's got elevation on it. And it'll one hop off the wall, a ground rule double. Great way to start us off. Nemo Crosby blasting that one through the fencing. And we will get the ground rule double. A great start to the bottom of the seventh. And that will bring us to the top of the order. First pitch, first base knock of the game for Nemo Crosby. Here comes Brett Moore, 0 for 3 on the day. Reached on an error earlier, so he did come across as a run. Here's the bunt attempt. It'll bring Crosby to third. Brett Moore is out number one. That was the smart move. At this point, if you want to, maybe you should just play 4 extra innings. You're in a tight spot here, but no matter what, you want to get to extra innings at the very least if you can't take the go-ahead and winning run here. Now it looks like we're going to get a mound visit from head coach Edwin Mugridge. If you are from Shaker Heights High School, you might know him as a study hall teacher. I'm 100% sure Cole Klein and Connor Adams, both on the Shaker squad, they both know him as their study hall teacher. How do I know this? Well, I'm in that study hall. So, Shaker down by 1 run, but the tying run over at third. 1 away for Quentin Garnett, who's 2 for 2 on the day with 2 singles and a walk. We know he's got some ability to tie it up. Here's first pitch to him. Upstairs, ball 1. Shaker down by a run. 3-2. West now over 90 pitches. That was 91. Here's 92. This one cut on. Skied over to the right side and foul. 1-1 the count with 1 away. Bottom of the 7th. Shaker entered into the inning. Up by 1. Now they're down by 1. As 2 runs came across for the Tigers. Here's the pitch to Garnett. That one's in there for a strike. Holy, a strikeout here would be huge if you're West. It would only be his 4th on the day. He's got more walks than strikeouts. 4-3, that ratio. Here's the 1-2 upstairs. Quentin Garnett with patience. Everyone take a breather. Nemo Crosby amping up the man at the plate. Now he'll take his lead. This one blasted into left field. This one's got a chance. It'll bang off of the wall. And Quentin Garnett going to take a double or not. He rounds second, but now he's going to head right back. And Shaker ties it up at 3. Can they walk it off? Tagan, the guy due up, he's the man that can do just that. 3-3. Quentin Garnett, the go-ahead and winning run over at third. Or excuse me, over at second. Woo-wee. Will Tagan. How about him? If you're a Shaker Heights baseball fan, you know the name. If you don't, I don't know what to tell you. This guy, a commit to Washington University down in St. Louis. Now it looks like we're going to get time called as the catcher is maybe going to mention something to West. Now actually the umpire joining him as well. Not sure what the matter was there. Both the catcher square and the umpire now taking their spots behind the dish. Will Tagan, what you got in you? One out, one man on in scoring position. Garnett, the go-ahead and winning run. 3-3 the score against the good old rival Cleveland Heights and those nasty Tigers. First pitch to Tagan, down low, ball one. Will Tagan 0 for 1 on the day. He reached on the error, going 0 for 1 there, but he's walked twice. Let's see if he does so again. Except it wouldn't be the best option, but I guess it's just kind of delaying Will Berglund then coming up. That'll be ball 2 to Will Tagan. That time missing upstairs. And now it looks like they're going to intentionally walk the guy after the 2-0 count. So then it's the other Will on the team. Will Berglund, 0 for 1. He was one of the 3 runs for Shaker here today. Or excuse me, scratch that. He was one of the RBIs here today for Shaker. Here's the pitch. That one almost ran in and got him. Can you imagine if that was the case? It would be bases loaded with 1 away, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. 2 runners on. Garnett off of second. Tagan off of first. West now with his 98th pitch in there for strike 1. Berglund 1 for 3 on the day. Yesterday was 2 for 3 with an RBI in that game as well. Back-to-back RBI days. 1-1 the count. 1 away, 2 guys on. This pitch missing the mark. Ball 2. Shaker actually taking the lead in hits now. Now they're winning it 7-6. This one, can it get through? The second baseman struggling. Throw on to first. Garnett holding off over at third, but Berglund safe at first. Bases loaded, 1 away. There we go. If Holland hadn't let that one get through on an infield single, that would have scored Garnett. But now it's just going to be C.J. Landrum. Walk-off spot for Amir. 0 for 3 on the day. He grounded into a double play his last time up. He struck out the 2 times before that. Here's the pitch. In tight for a ball. Very much in tight. Can you imagine? Imagine hitting a batter in this spot. A walk-off hit. Walk-off hit batter. I mean, that would just be something different. 1-0 the count. Here's the pitch. Cut on, missed. Strike 1 to C.J. Landrum. Berglund off of first. Tagan off of second. Quentin Garnett the go-ahead and winning run on third. 3-3 the score. Shaker looking for a bounce-back win. This one cut on. Off the glove of the third baseman. It'll score the winning run. Maybe on an error, but so what? C.J. Landrum walks it off, and he celebrates over at first. Shaker wins this one. 4-3 your final. What a game. It maybe didn't have to be this tense, but Shaker going to take the win and get back over 500 in the Greater Cleveland Conference. And now as they take their handshakes, I'll step in front of the camera. Shaker winning this one in dramatic fashion. It's actually their 3rd walk-off win, their 3rd one here at home 4-3 is the final. This one, the difference between the other two. This one not going into extra innings. It was Quentin Garnett, the winning run. It was Nemo Crosby, the tying run before that. C.J. Landrum getting the knock that time to just close the door on this ball game. Wow, what a dramatic win. Shaker at the very start of the game was down 1-0. Then they took the lead 2-1. No runs were scored after that. It was 2-1. Shaker leading that all the way through to the 7th. Then Cleveland Heights took a lead back. They took it 3-2 there. And then after that, the Red Raiders, they bounced back and scored 2 of their own. So Shaker wins this one by a score of 4-3. They move to 5-4 in the Greater Cleveland Conference. And now they're going to become 10-11 on the season in total. Thank you very much for tuning in. My name is Vaughn Ullum here with the call. We've got lacrosse over here to my right side. They're actually doing the national anthem, so I'm actually feeling a bit awkward doing this. But they have that varsity lacrosse game over to my right against that Jackson High School. Maybe some of you guys are here as well. Maybe hoping to watch that game on the Shaker Heights Athletics YouTube channel. You can check it out here as well. But for now, thank you very much for tuning in. Shaker winning this one. A good bounce-back win after losing 3 straight. They're back in the win column. 10-11 now on the season. Thanks for tuning in. My name is Vaughn Ullum here with the call from Shaker Heights High School. We're going to see you back here tomorrow against Brunswick and the Blue Devils. We'll tell you more about it then when we see you, hopefully, once again under some sun.